State versus Kara Howell, 18278. Ms. Howell, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Let's see what you're appearing for. Arraignment.
Judge, based on the appointment, we'll enter a plea of not guilty.
Okay. We'll enter the plea of not guilty. And let's see, Judge Webb will be here on, is he here on July 12th?
I put some dates on your back for you there. On your,
On what?
you're going up half of the
Oh,
dates down.
okay. Yes, he'll be here on July 12th at 9:30. Thank you so much. Anything else?
Judge, we wanted to take up the issue of bond. I don't know if she's got a bond right now.
She has a $10,000 bond, Judge. I anticipate there'll be a probation revocation being filed on this young lady.
Okay.
We order the bond out simply to be rearrested.
Well, I can address it, or if there's, wait
Ju-
to see if there's.
That's okay, Judge. Yeah, that's fine. I think if we could have her set for like you've already done for the 12th, we should be able to resolve it on the 12th.
Very well. Thank you, Ms. Howe. You may stand aside. Heather McDaniel, 18273, 272, and 42. One's a drug case, the other hindering apprehension, a revocation officer. Ms. McDaniel, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. We'll look at 18273, which is possession of drug paraphernalia, hindering apprehension. And needs to be arraigned, I suppose.
We'll plead not guilty, Your Honor.
We'll enter a plea of not guilty. We'll have a pre-trial on.
Judge, if I could stop you before you start setting them. She's got a case already pending in Division, 2 cases pending in Division 4. I think if it's okay with the court, the state, and the defense would prefer that it be transferred to Division 4.
Very well. We'll have her appear on July 12th in front of Judge Webb at, time's he start? 9:30? 9:30. And let's see, let's go through the other ones. Is there anything to be done in the other cases?
I think she needs to be arraigned on the 272.
Okay. Yes. 18272, drug paraphernalia, possession of controlled substances, other charges. We'll also enter a plea of not guilty in that and direct that you appear before Judge Webb on the 12th of July.
Judge, before we leave her cases, could we address whether or not she has a bond, and if not, have the court set one?
Okay, let me get to 1842, which is a revocation. Well, I'll just have her appear before Judge Webb on that case. Petition may not have been filed here, is
It hadn't been
what
filed,
you
Your
said.
Honor. It's been signed.
Very well. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Judge, if there's a petition that's going to be filed, I suppose bond's not an issue for today's purposes. If we'll leave it set for the 12th, then they can take up all the issues at that time.
Very well, sir. You may stand aside, ma'am. Thank you. 18274, Ryan Kinsley. 275, 18264.
Judge, we represent Mr. Kinsley in his other pending matters, so we'll go ahead and enter our appearance for the first appearance on the new matter.
Okay. 18274 is drug paraphernalia. So 4 counts, various degrees. Enter a plea of not guilty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll have him appear before Judge Webb on July 12th at 9:30. Let's see what 18275 is.
Judge, that's another case. Mr. Kinsley has, I think, 5 cases pending in Division 4. We could transfer this one and have him reappear on the 12th.
Very well.
As well.
We'll go ahead and enter a plea of not guilty if that's acceptable.
Yes, Your Honor.
18-64. Theft by receiving a firearm. We'll enter a plea of not guilty, and I'll have him appear before Judge Webb on that case also on July 12th.
Judge, he did want to request a bond from the court.
All right. Let's see. He made a bond in this 18264, I think.
Has his bond been revoked, Carrie?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Judge, if the bond has been revoked, perhaps it's more appropriate for the Division 4 to take it up because it is a Division 4 case that his bond was revoked on.
Okay,
Or several of them, I suppose.
It's not 8 cases.
very well. You may stand aside, sir. Eighteen two seventy, State versus Michelle Wood, manslaughter, reckless driving. Ma'am, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you're here for an arraignment, it looks like.
Judge will enter a plea of not guilty. We spoke last night, and that's the only action to take today.
Okay. Let's see. We'll have her appear before Judge Webb on the 12th of July.
Thank you, Your Honor.
9:30. Thank you, ma'am. State versus Rick Headley, 18-269, 18-125, 269, let's see. Violation of a domestic order of protection. Who represents this gentleman, do we know? Who
Capital,
represents you,
there's a
sir?
capital team on his case, Your Honor, and
Oh.
I don't know if the state's heard from him or not. David, have you heard from Mr. Headley's attorneys lately?
I have not.
Okay.
On the violation of order of protection, it doesn't look like he's been arraigned on that case.
We can take that one up, Your Honor,
Okay.
today.
We enter a plea of not guilty.
Yes.
We'll have a pretrial on August 23rd. Let me look at the capital case and see what's going on there. Well, they may show up later. If we need to transport you or have you available by Skype, we'll do that later on, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. State versus William Witkowski, sorry, 18-261. Lean.
Judge, it's my understanding William was arraigned last week. We're here for a reappearance to get on the court's docket, which I think we are.
Okay. So we've issued a scheduling order with Witkowski. Is that right? August 23rd, 10 o'clock is a pretrial.
William, I'll get with Mr. Chisholm and see if we can't figure something out between now and then, okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
State versus John Lewis, 18-259. Possession of controlled substances, paraphernalia, obstructing governmental operations.
Judge, we have not received an application from Mr. Lewis, but I did meet with him last night. I guess he was arraigned last week. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, I filled the application out.
Who did you give it to, Mr. Lewis?
Somebody here at the jail.
Your next appearance on August 23rd, 10 o'clock.
I
Anything else?
thought,
Say again?
we were gonna have it resolved today.
John, we're going to try to. I'm speaking with Mr. Chisholm about that right now. If we can, we'll bring you over this afternoon, okay?
Thank you.
All right. You may stand aside.
Thank you.
State versus Andrew Byers, 18-255. Furnishing prohibited articles.
Does you have an application? We do represent him in another case. This one's not signed, but we do represent him in a pending matter, Division 4.
Okay. I know Judge Webb appointed you in here, maybe mistakenly, but it happened.
Oh, already in this
Yes,
case?
should I?
Okay. Judge, this is another matter that he's got a pending charge and a revocation pending in Division 4. It might be appropriate if it's okay with Division 4 to transfer this matter as well.
If agreeable to Judge Webb, agreeable to this court, July 12th at 9:30 will be his next appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may stand aside, sir. Thank you. State versus Sierra Corey, 18-253.
Judge, we are trying to get this case resolved. I don't think we're gonna be able to do it today. It's already set for reappearances in this, later this summer. We'll leave it as scheduled, and if we can get it resolved, we'll bring her back for
Okay.
plea.
You may stand aside. Thank you, ma'am. State versus Jesse Bryson, 18-231. Possession of controlled substances and drug paraphernalia. So who represents you, Mr. Bryson?
Do what?
Who represents you?
I haven't been able to get an attorney. I've actually been in treatment for the last 30 days. I got OR'd there from jail, so I haven't been able to handle anything.
Okay. There's an app, it indicated in the computer here that you were gonna make application to the Public Defender's Office, so I'll direct you to do that and turn your application in. There's an application at the jail. And I'll have you appear on July 19th for attorney status.
Yes, sir. Am I gonna be able to post bond today? I was waiting on a bond.
Let me see. I'll set your bond at $20,000.
Yes, sir.
That'll be all. You may stand aside. State versus Lee, was it Wiley or Willie? 18-189. Theft of property.
Judge, I think we might be here to address the failure to appear in 18-189 today.
It says pretrial also.
Okay.
Are there any pretrial matters?
Judge, there are not. We have discovery. There are witnesses coming forth. Everything's moving ahead. The only issue that I would like to bring before the court's attention today is that his trial, I believe, in this matter, in these matters, is set for November of this year. We have received a correspondence from the Agape House in Paragould, Arkansas, saying that he has been admitted if he is allowed to enter that program while he's out on bond.
Well, if we set a bond, he makes it, that's fine with me.
Can we make sure we're clear on the amount of the bond while we're here today, Judge, just so I can reiterate that to him?
You know, we issued a failure to appear, Ms. Manley, on May the 10th.
We do need to address that. I believe he was incarcerated, Judge, at that point in time. I can discuss that with Mr. Chisholm in more detail.
Judge, I'm not gonna get in the way of anyone's rehab, but I certainly don't want anyone else to get in the way of someone's rehab. This gentleman is charged with theft of property, breaking and entering, theft of property. He is a habitual offender.
It was set at 25 previously, we're set at 30,000.
For both cases, Your Honor?
I just have one here.
You have another.
189.
You also have a 18-225. That's a breaking or entering charge, theft of property misdemeanor. His bond was previously set at $3,000 on that one, so if we could do a
That'd be fine.
concurrent $30,000, will that be sufficient, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did he make a previous $25,000 bond? I guess,
Lee, you didn't bond out on the first case, did you, on the 25,000?
Sir, they dropped it down to 5,000 and I was
Okay.
able to make it in.
Okay, okay.
But they did drop it down to 5,000 and I was able to make bond on that one.
Judge,
Okay.
we'll clear up the FTA issue with Mr. Chisholm, and if that was indeed a mistake, or if he was incarcerated, perhaps we'll be able to get the bond agreed to a lower amount.
very well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You may stand aside.
Thank you.
State versus Zachary Bales, 18-186, 175, 40, and 12. burglary, drugs, theft. These are for pretrial. Are there any pretrial matters?
No, Your Honor, we are working diligently to try to resolve the several matters that Mr. Bales has pending in this division and Division 4. We can leave it as scheduled, and I'm hoping in July that we'll have a resolution in all these matters.
Very well. You may stand aside, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
State versus Jason Biddle, 17-227. Possession of drug paraphernalia.
Judge, I represent Mr. Biddle, and we have a drug court offer, and we're going to accept that offer. What we're requesting, based on my conversation with my client, is the Department of Community Corrections is considering allowing him to go to Care Center Ministries until the for the 90-day program that they normally send people to RPF for. He's asking the court today if he could enter Care Center Ministries until his plea and/or until he performs what drug court requires of him in that facility.
Who's asking for that?
I'm asking for that.
No, you're asking that he go to Care Center Ministries rather than go to the CCC?
It's my understanding, and I'll need to talk to Nick Mayfield about it because I was with them late last night and didn't get a chance. It's my understanding that they're going to let him do his treatment at Care Center Ministries instead of CCC.
Is there a reason why?
I don't know. We'll have to talk to Nick about it. In any event, Judge, it's several months usually before they go to CCC. So this would be a good place for him out of the Baxter County Jail with some responsibility. So in either event, the request would be the same. If he has to go to RPF for whatever they're calling it this day, so be it. But we'd still have the same request, Judge.
Is he going to enter the plea before Judge Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Well, what's the state's position?
I guess I want to know what Nick Mayfield, why he's doing that, Judge. We've never done that
Well,
before.
I'll recall the matter.
All right, let me call Nick.
Okay.
Do you know?
You may stand aside, sir. Kendra Ellis, 16105. Drug cases for revocation.
Who's your probation?
Ma'am, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you here for arraignment.
Cody would have to say that's what she needs to do. Okay.
Judge, we will enter a plea of not true, and we'd ask that the court approve, if it meets with the approval of her probation officer, her acceptance into Care Center Ministries. It's my understanding she has been accepted into that program and is just waiting approval from this court to enter that program.
I'll set the hearing for July 19th, and is that what the statement's happening?
I have no objection. I'd like her probation officer to have some input on this. This young lady's been on probation for 2 years.
Okay, who is probation?
Cody.
Gilbert.
Cody Gilbert.
Probation officer agrees when she can be released to Care Center Ministry.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll follow up with that today.
Larry Barker Jr., 16285. This is a revocation.
Your Honor, we have a disposition we can make in that matter right now without having to bring him over, I think.
Okay,
The state's agreed, I'm sorry, to amend this matter to contempt. He'll be sentenced to 89 days in county jail with credit for what he has done already, with the understanding that if he doesn't get those supervision fees paid within 30 days after release, they'll refile it.
okay. Mr. Barker, did you fail to report your probation officer as directed?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna find you in contempt of court, sentence you to 89 days in county jail. Also, condition be that you have your
Supervision fees,
supervision fees paid within
30 days.
30 days.
And he needs to report, of course, as well.
And the report is sent to your probation officer as soon as you get out of jail, okay?
Yes.
Thank you. State versus Joshua Chambers, 17267, rape.
He'll need to be brought over, Your Honor, for disposition.
We'll transport you to the courthouse, sir.
Thank you.
State versus Michael Bolton, 17-270, aggravated assault.
Okay. Judge, Mr. Bolton lives in California. We do represent him in this matter. And Michael, could I ask you, did you turn yourself in on this charge?
Yes, sir.
Did you come to Mountain Home to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I've spoken with him, Judge, and it's my understanding that based on the geography involved, he was unable to get back here for his reappearance date. But by his testimony, and I think the bondsman will tell you the same thing, that he did come turn himself in on this charge. If the court would be, he hasn't missed a trial date, is my understanding. Is that right, Kerry, or has he?
This case goes back to June of 2017. I don't know how long this man was.
Judge, perhaps what we should do, since this is a Division 4 case and Judge Webb will be here to address these issues, is have him reappear on July 12th. He has asked me to ask this court to reinstate his bond if the bondsman will stay on it.
Tell you what, I'd rather he just appeared before Judge Webb on July 12th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Michael Trucks, 17-213, project use of debit or credit card, credit card.
Judge, we're here for a change of plea pursuant to Act 346.
Trucks, I'm looking at a police statement and some conditions of probation or suspension. Have you gone over these?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel you understand what's in these documents?
Yes, sir.
You understand the charges against you and the range of penalty
Yes, sir.
if you're convicted?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty to fraudulent use of a debit or credit card and theft of property?
Yes, sir.
By entering your plea, giving up your right to have a trial and you cannot appeal, you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone promised you anything other than what's in these documents to get you to change your plea?
No, sir.
Has anyone pressured you or threatened to get you to change your plea?
No, sir.
And are you guilty of these crimes?
Yes, sir.
What did you do?
Your Honor, between July of 2016 and March of 2017, he would have stole his grandmother's debit card and charged 42 times, totaling $1,799.37. Unauthorized.
Do you do that?
Yes, sir.
Shame. Shame is all the kindest word I can put on it. This time I accept your plea. Essentially 4 years probation on each count. Ordered to pay $200 in cost, a $2,000 fine, a $250 DNA fee, $20 husband fee, $200 in cost, 1,007, or maybe an extra 9 here, $1,793.
I thought it was $1,799.37.
Okay.
That's correct, Judge.
37 cents. Tell what you owe a minimum rate of $100 per month beginning within 30 days. Make your payments to the sheriff's department here in Baxter County. Go with this gentleman.